Hello and welcome to T Capital FX. This 2026. I'll be showing you how I analyze the market. Some of the things we'll be hearing this year will be more of swing points, fair value gaps. So fair value gaps will be showing us direction. Swing points also, whether we are running or we are sweeping the swing point. Now we'll be focusing on the boom and crash pairs for today. So I'll be taking them one after the other. And out of the 3 booms and 3 crash, and let me add boom 1000, boom 500, boom 300, crash 1000, crash 500, and crash 300. I will want to check the 6 of them and see if there's any opportunity to trade for today. Let's start with boom 300. I normally start my analysis, my trade idea for the day on the highest time frame, which is the monthly time frame. I like to know what the monthly is doing before I think of any other daily idea. So on the monthly, let's switch it to monthly quickly. Okay, this is monthly. Since I'm not a swing trader, I really will not just look at plenty candles on the monthly. It's those that want to hold trades for months and for weeks that will say this is bullish, now it turned bearish. For my monthly, I just like to look at what last month did, previous candle on the monthly time frame did, and I can see that November had a nice push down and December pushed up, while in January also opened here and came down nicely. So I want to see what is happening right now, and it's now time to mark down at the tip. You notice that there is a swing point here. I call it intermediate term low. You'll get to know more of these terms as we continue. So, and when price sweeps an intermediate term low like this is the same low, but now on weekly time frame. When price sweeps an intermediate term low like this, there's a tendency of a push in the opposite direction. So, whereas bearish, but we're currently seeing a bullish push because of the sweep of the intermediate term low. So with what is happening on the higher time frame, monthly and weekly, daily will end up in consolidation. You can see this little wick that yesterday wicked into today, and we're also seeing a bearish fair value gap. Let me mark it, a bearish fair value gap. And this is it. You also need to make some research to know what fair value gaps are. For my daily, I normally give daily yellow color. So anyway, you see yellow on my chart, it has to do with the daily. So daily has a bearish push pushing us down, and weekly and monthly has a bullish push. You can see, and we're also having daily bearish candle. So at this point it's a 50-50 point. Why? It's where you hope to see much consolidation. So price want to go up and there is something pushing it down. Price want to be pushed down, there's another thing pushing it up. So I call it a 50-50 zone. And every wise trader will by all means try to avoid this because the momentum on both sides is in the market. So this is a 50-50 zone. So at this point I've looked at boom for 1000. One more of what I'll be saying will be consolidation all through today and maybe 1 or 2 more days from now. So I don't have any interest in boom 1000 because of the double pairs. There is a bearish fair value gap and there is a sweep of the swing point. Let's now proceed to boom 500. Boom 1000 is not really looking nice for a trade idea. So I want to now check boom 500 at this point. Okay, so this is now our boom 500. Remember, I normally start on the monthly time frame, so let's do some markup. We're coming from this for my monthly higher time frame. I used to mark it as red, so let me change the color to red and this to red. You can see there is a nice bearish fair value gap and we have a point here, you can see. Then we have this month, which is January, now falling nicely. But as it's coming down, there is also a bullish fair value gap that price is now encountering. So all this while, every bearish trade you take, you are correct until we get to this point. Let me mark it quickly. To get to this particular point like this, so this fair value gap, monthly fair value gap, will now push price up. Meanwhile, we are coming bearish all this time. So from the weekly time frame, we are now also seeing that that point we marked on the monthly is still standing valid at this point on the weekly. So weekly is still pushing bearish, and we are seeing a nice push all the way. You can see all the candles, red candles towards the downside. Now let's also look at this. After sweeping this point like this, you can see closely the price has already touched that our monthly. Remember, that line is valid from the monthly. So with this now, we are bearish, but there is now a bullish push. So you can see that there is a lot of consolidation around this point, because we've touched a major zone that will push price upwards, or anything can happen here. What we normally want to do is that the price, they all should be in our favor. So for boom 500, no trade idea. Let's also check boom 300 at this point. Remember, monthly. I like to see what the monthly is doing. Where are we entering? Okay, so on the monthly, let me mark out now. We're having a nice bearish push. This January pushing downwards, that it came into this fair value gap, and it's a monthly fair value gap. Although it's showing us that disrespecting the fair value gap, as we go further to weekly and some other time frame, maybe we will see better. And that disrespect is supposed to guide us down to this next swing point. So see what weekly is now showing us. We have a bearish fair value gap on the weekly here that has not been traded back into. So at this point, if price should trade or return back into this weekly fair value gap, to be a nice point to take trades from up here down to this target. But for now and at this point, we are not back into that fair value gap yet, and there is still a swing point here. If it doesn't go there, then it should be trading towards the swing point. Anytime I want to put TP or target, I mark it as blue. Let's check what daily is also doing. This is the weekly fair value gap. So price is not down to our target yet, and it's not returning back to the daily. So it's in between. Let's check daily. You can see what is happening here. So we need price to do something like this, go up or come down and give us a retest before we continue. You can see what daily is doing to show to you that the market at this point, anything you set in here, you are strictly on your own. For how many days? You can see all of these days here. Consolidation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 to 9 days. Price is doing absolutely nothing. So we'll not be interested in this until price trades back, maybe into that fair value gap, and give us a sign to fall, or it can proceed straight down and gives us a sign to maybe continue this way. So it's been more of consolidation all through this point. And you can see, even if you proceed to 4 hours, it will just be rubbish. You can see what price is doing here. Absolutely nothing. So the fair value gap as well shows direction. All of them are failing. You can see just jargon here. So boom 500, boom 1000, boom 300 is doing absolutely nothing. Let's proceed to crash pairs. So very soon we'll have to delete all the boom. So this is what we do on a daily basis. We look for a nice trading opportunity that can help us take trades. Now we're on crash 1000. As it is my custom, I go to the monthly and see what we have. We have a sweep of this last month, so showing us a bullish pressure in the market, and we are bullish to this next point. So see how the push is. Excuse me. Bullish to this point. Normally mark my target as blue. Good. So this is what monthly is showing us. So we're bullish because of the sweep of this last swing point. And this weekly. And weekly is also bullish. Look at this point here. Let me mark this. We had there is a target here before the monthly target, and we had a sweep of this last. And when you see a sweep like this, it's showing you a bullish momentum. A bullish momentum. So this new week is also bullish. You can see this sweep made price to push up until price market closed at this point and the new week started. So we are still bullish buyers. And let's proceed to the daily and see what price is doing. Also on the daily, you can see that we had a nice daily fair value gap. I used to mark my daily, you should know by now. Yellow. So price came into the fair value gap, and you see what happened here. And we had a nice push to the upside. So if we are going up, where are we going up from? That is the next question. That's what we'll be looking for on the 4 hours. So we have not touched that target till now. That means we are still bullish inclined. So let's look at 4 hours and see if we can see where to go from. So if our time results we are bullish, where are we going bullish from? You can also see a nice 4 hours fair value gap that price came into. From my 4 hours to 1 hour, I used to mark it as white. So you see white, you see price came down nicely and did more like a W pattern. We're now bullish. So this is something you will need to know. Before the weekly target, there is still a swing point on the 4 hours. Whatever takes price into this swing point should be able to take us to the weekly target. I want to show you inside this circle what made price to consolidate. So we had a bullish fair value gap, and we also had a bearish fair value gap. There's a bullish fair value gap here, and there's a bearish fair value gap here. That's what normally called for a 50-50. This is the bearish fair value gap. So the first fair value gap is pushing price up. Yes, for the bullish, make it dash. So the first fair value gap is pushing price up, and is bullish pushing price up, and the bearish is pushing price down. That's why you are seeing two legs. So this push this up, and this bearish fair value gap gave price a nice push to the downside. You can see this. So what should we be expecting? Remember, we are still bullish. Monthly is bullish, weekly is bullish. This is a rejection high. So whatever brings price above this rejection high gives us an area of opportunity to trade nicely from here to our target. Can you see that? To our target. And also we are having, so that is crash 1000. It has given us a nice trading opportunity. So for all the pairs, let's remove boom, the 3 booms. We have a trade opportunity on crash 1000. It's only the pair that is looking okay for us to trade at this point. Now let's make progress to another pair. Remember, I start my analysis from the monthly. This is crash 500 at this point, and there is a fair value gap here. Price came into it and we're respecting the fair value gap, so giving us a bearish push. A bearish push. You can say that. Okay, so from this bearish push, you can see that while we're coming down from that fair value gap, we still created a nice bearish movement. We still can see that there is a swing point down here and there is a bearish fair value gap. So if price should return back to this fair value gap, to be a nice point to sell from. From what we are seeing, it's as if it's heading for our target. So let's also mark that target, the swing point here, and mark it as blue. So if I see any other opportunity that will guide us nicely into the target, we will take it. But this is why that weekly may remain as a breakaway fair value gap, because we had a nice bearish fair value gap on the daily, which price came into it nicely, and you can see if we were here, this would have been a nice opportunity to take trade from this fair value gap down to our target. Can you see that? Down to this target. Let's see whether 4 hours is also showing us a fair value gap that we can capitalize on. It has happened before we came in. Look at this nice fair value gap on the 4 hours. You can see that? So price came into it nicely and used to mark 4 hours white. Price came into it, you can see that, nicely, and wow, what a nice melt towards the downside. You can see this. So but we're not there, we didn't see it. So if this can end this way, you see another nice fair value gap that price came into and still fell. We're already seeing all of this in hindsight, so we can capitalize on these trades for now. Mainly, we're still seeing our opportunity is still on crash 1000 alone for now. You can see it was even a 15 minutes fair value gap here. Price came into it and fell nicely. There were plenty of opportunities that would have capitalized on. You can see this nice fall, nice fall, nice fall. All the same, market is market. It is what it is. They have been in 1:2 hour trade nicely without any stress, would have caught the trade. But for now, let's delete all of this, continue our analysis. For now, there is no trade opportunity again on crash 1000. So if 4 hours gives us a fair value gap again, we'll capitalize on before we get to the target, we'll capitalize on it. But for now, what we're looking for has happened. Let's check crash 300. It's network. It's coming up now. Okay. Yep, crash 300. Remember, we'll start marking from monthly. We have a nice fair value gap, but obviously, remember our monthly is always red. Always red. Obviously, it's turning out to be a breakaway gap for now. And price is rallying towards the downside. We had a nice bullish push. I've guided us into that fair value gap, but it didn't. And January started falling almost immediately. You can see what is reacting to. We had a swing point here. Price traded above it a little, and we started noticing a fall. We have a challenge on its way coming down. There is still a bullish. I have a swing point here. It's been touched. See, price came down this way, into this swing point, giving us a bullish momentum. So having both bearish and bullish momentum, so it still becomes a 50-50 area. So what automatically we're seeing right now, even if we proceed towards the downside, it will just be jargon upon jargon. Why? We have swept this. So what is happening? Let's delete all the boom and delete crash. So the only trading opportunity we're having right now is on crash 1000. What are we waiting for? This also an opportunity on crash 500, remember. So let's take it off as well. Take it off as well. So it's crash 1000. That's our main focus for the day. You can see all of them. We're left with only, so we had almost 6 to 7 pairs on our watch list. We all brought everything down to one that we're capitalizing on. So the price comes up here and does this, then we have a nice push towards our target. So this is all we'll be waiting for on crash.